right to assign. So when you enter into escrow, if you don't plan to perform, put Dan Holbrook or assignee. Actually, just leave Dan Holbrook and send me the contract. No, you want your name or assignee. But let's say it's worth $450, you got a couple options. You get an offer to take this guy's note that's foreclosing, because he's in a stronger position, right? Because he's foreclosing, because he's got first shot at this, because he's in the second position. So let's say you bought this note for $35,000. Remember, shark-infested waters, right? Lots of money on the table, and people do all sorts of different things. So what I did, and we had foreclosure, we had lawsuits, we had a bankruptcy. Other than that, it was all good.
$1,000 loan, a $450,000 property. What should we advertise it for sale for? What price do you think? $410? $420? We got $420 going once. $420 going to $1. $1. We got $1 going once. $1 going twice. I'm not going to sell it to refinance my house because I owe 110% what it's worth, and nobody's going to give me a loan. Okay. Yeah. You know what was amazing about that conversation is they talked to 20 mortgage lenders. Not one of those 20 mortgage lenders went to him and said...
It's yet another thing to send them money to pay the rent. Now, there's no difference between the two. If you're renting a piece of property below market, you are sending them that amount of money each month. You don't know it. You think, because you're avoiding the pain, right? The same thing we talked about earlier. You're afraid of what happens if a tenant real estate. And it goes up and down. But it also goes round and round. And those are the cycles of real estate. And that's actually part of the reason that afraid of what happens if you're not kind to them. They won't like you. Oh my gosh, they're going to have to pay their bridge. Looking back as a Monday morning quarterback and trying to figure out what to do. But you need to make the best decision and realize at the end of the day, you just want to do more things right than you do wrong. Because you're going to make mistakes all along the way. And the beauty of these is you structure them correctly.
And talking about foreclosures or distress, here's in a foreclosure, this is the number of foreclosures, the activity in the next 4 months. In a normal farm, by the way, this is the activity in the next 4 months. Which area do you want to mine? Do you think there's going to be more activity? Who's in distress? What do they want? Out. If, in order to get out, what do you need? A door, okay? You need a way out. This phrase is a door. All of a sudden they're saying, wow, a lender will accept less than they're owed. They got 47 other pieces of mail. No one really specified any specific solution. Wow, maybe here's something I do with people to help them understand the significance of time. Because many people aren't leading their life and connecting the dots from the assets they have to the life that they want. Let's say you're 60 years old. People at 60 years old have certain dreams that have been fulfilled, unfulfilled, hopes, all sorts of things. They're putting off what they want for tomorrow or the next day. Remember what I said, if not by the grace of God, ergo I, God forbid anything happen, but any of us could get run over by a truck tomorrow, which means that whatever we plan the next day will never happen. Somebody's 60 years old, and I've used this 100 times. Let's say you live to 80 years old. At what point would you rather live? So let's break up the next 20 years in 5-year increments. 60 to 65, 65 to 70, 75 to 80, 85 to whenever they're done. Which segment of your life would you want to live in? Which one? Which one do you think they'll say? The now, the 60 to 65. But do you know that we plan our lives as if we're going to live in the 75 to 80? We do. We have unfulfilled dreams because we don't realize that we can unlock pieces of the recovery puzzle. You've got temporary housing allowance. Well, why is that important? People could get checks right now for temporary housing of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Use those proceeds to buy a new home right now, rebuild the one they are, sell that, increase their cost basis, and avoid the financial distress of this market. Had someone that did this from the Cedar Fire when I did the seminar. Guy went out, got the temporary housing allowance, went and bought a new home with those proceeds, went ahead and built the home that he had, ended up selling that at a huge profit. He was $1 million ahead. You ask what a good idea is worth? In that case, $1 million. For people with short sales, it's a great place for them to retreat to keep their foot in the door of real estate. They just lost one house, right? The guy that, go back to the example of 3424 payment, that could rent the property for $1850. What if he went down the block, did a short sale on one home, went to that guy that was renting the home at $1850 and says, hey, I'll pay you $2,500 a month, but I want an option to purchase.
Interest rates go up as well. And the reason is because when consumer confidence rises, the belief is that consumers will spend more money. When consumers spend more money, the economy gets better. When the economy gets better, eventually it overheats, inflation kicks in, and interest rates will go up. So it's kind of a preemptive strike. When consumer confidence goes down, then the market responds with lower interest rates to try to stimulate the economy, to generate the belief that everything is going to be okay. And that's the government's job, is to keep you believing that everything's okay. We need to keep our finger on the pulse, not only of the market, but you know what? You might check your own every now and again. Just to make sure you're breathing. Just to make sure that you realize that it's about you, that you're doing all these things. It's about your kids. It's about your family. It's about whatever legacy you want to create, whatever quality of life that you're aspiring for. That's what this is about. This is not about real estate. So until you can connect the dots between the asset in your life, you're not going to really understand what to do next.